Okay, this is a video on how to disassemble and reassemble the KWA M93R. I'm making this video because there aren't enough good videos online that properly go over how to do so. So first, make sure your gun's on safe. The fire selector doesn't matter. And remove your magazine. And from here, you can just remove the slide by activating the takedown lever here. Now, to activate it, you have to go on the other side and press this button, and then slide it down like that. Once you do that, the slide will come off, and now you have the slide, recoil spring, barrel assembly with hop up, and the frame. Now you don't need to do anything with the frame, just lube up everything, and once you're done with maintenance, to put it back together, you need to take the barrel assembly and put it back in, and to get it in right, you have to put it the end on this little notch. Let me try to. So there's a little notch in the slide right here that you need to put the outer barrel on, and once that's there, you can get the recoil spring. Now this recoil spring is not captive, so the spring just can shoot off, so you have to be very careful with it. So take the recoil spring and scrunch it down onto the recoil rod and stick the rod in through the front of the slide, and the back of it you want to line up on this notch right here. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a notch. There's this springboard, and there's a notch at the very front right here. That's where you're going to put the recoil spring on. It pushes the inner barrel assembly back onto the air nozzle. So with that in place, you can put the slide back on the frame. Now, it's hard to keep the recoil assembly in place because of how small this notch is and the fact that the recoil spring is not captive. So to get it back on, grip the front of the slide, and with your left hand and with your left thumb hold the recoil spring guide rod in, and then slide the slide back on. You're going to want to keep the foregrip extended so that you can work with the recoil spring while you're trying to get the slide on, because if it's not, your thumb will get in the way of the foregrip. So keep the foregrip extended and slide the slide on. You're going to come to this. I'm not sure what it is, but you're going to need to push it down, and that's your first obstacle. The second obstacle you might come across is this little tab here. On this gun it's a bit worn down, so it doesn't become a problem, but right now I'm feeling the force of, I believe this is on the end of the recoil spring guide rod. So you're going to have to just keep pulling the slide, and the guide rod will slip. And that's okay, you just need to keep pushing the slide back to the point where you can grab the guide rod and try to move it. If you can't do that, pull it back a little bit and try to get the guide rod to move around a little bit. And then once you get to this point where the slide's moving behind battery, you can just pull the slide all the way back and get the slide release to hold the slide, and take the recoil spring guide rod and try to move it around a little bit so that you can get it past the takedown lever. And once you get it past the takedown lever, you can close the takedown lever and it should be fully assembled. So now this was hard. First time when I got this gun, I tried to disassemble it, and when I was reassembling it, it took me almost 2 hours because I didn't know how to properly get the guide rod to fit in the gun right. It's hard, but hopefully this video helps you figure out how to do this correctly. Oh, and another thing is, if you have the hammer down and have the safety on this gun, and you cock the hammer back and the safety is still on, you can pull the trigger. When the safety is still on, you can pull the trigger. So if you cock the hammer back with the safety on, turn the safety off and then turn it back on to prevent the hammer from being able to be dropped. And that's all for this video. Thanks for watching.